Welcome. I am so grateful that people are able to make it with busy schedules, with holidays coming up and busy school years coming to the end after report cards and conferences and excited to see you all. Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and wait until 3:45 to get started, but if anyone has anything to ask or add, or go ahead and contribute how you're feeling or what's happening.
Glad to be getting close to vacation. I need it.
My kiddo is coming home tomorrow, so I'm excited.
That's great.
Coming up from college?
Coming home from Colorado Ballet Academy. He's an NVIS student, it's a junior, but he's been in Denver since July.
Oh, that is so exciting. That is so
Very-
exciting.
Very exciting. Yes, and you can all come see him dance the Nutcracker at Napa Valley College because Christmas. So you'll have several NVUSD students dancing, but two of mine.
That's wonderful. Okay, well, I'm definitely planning on going.
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, well, gee, I feel like after that, my news is nothing much, but the school bond, we got the word yesterday that it's 54.32%. It went up 1.2% in one
Gosh,
day.
so close.
So let's keep our fingers and toes crossed.
That would be nice.
At least you got American Canyon, right?
We did get American Canyon and they went 60%. God bless American Canyon. Well, they have some really great schools there. They see every day what school bonds do.
Right.
I mean,
And they're the fastest growing
Yeah.
area. So yeah.
and they're a very forward-thinking, future-oriented community.
Yeah, we had an NVUSD training there for the whole district, and we were all blown away by how much nicer their facilities are than ours.
Oh gosh, the first time they did that, when they first opened up, I was a union rep at Napa High, and I had to deal with a bunch of teachers who came in sobbing because, we all worked in the famous D wing, which is, I called it Mildew Manse. And everyone just, I had 6 teachers crying in my classroom, and they weren't all women, because it was just, they said, my God, this is what they think of us. I went, yep.
Well, since I have the ability.
Oh, look.
Wow.
There he is.
That's flexible.
That's incredible.
And I have no idea where he gets it from. It sure as heck isn't from anyone in my family.
I'm sure you're graceful.
No, I'm not. And I have the broken bones and scars to prove it.
Welcome, Christine.
Maybe he's from another planet.
As far as I know.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon.
Hey, Christine.
Hi, we were just checking in with each other as we let people get on before we start the meeting. So if you have anything you want to share, or
No, I know Jennifer Baker since I work at Napa Valley College.
Hi.
She's been in many events that I've either helped coordinate or I've been in, and I know you, Maestro Nord. My son is in 4th grade at NVLA. So
Oh, yay.
yeah, so and then I have a 4-year-old who's soon to join the district in TK next year. Yeah. So
Christine, you may be in my class next year because I'm in.
oh, I will keep your name there and check. Yeah.
Well, and Nicholas is a NVLA alum.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Getting there. I can't believe I have a 9-year-old. Seems like just went by so quickly, but yeah, it's great.
well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
No, absolutely. I was very excited about it. I think after your September meeting, Dr. Moonsami, and I had a conversation, and she's like, "You'd be great in this." My official role at the college is manager of dual enrollment and educational partnerships. So this fits right into kind of like my position, and I'm also very involved in our learning communities and our equity, our DEI work. So with Dr. Moonsami and all the wonderful people at the college who move forward our work with DEI. So I'm excited to be in this space with you all.
Hey,
Well,
Mr.
that's
Hall
great.
here. Nicholas, the second grade teacher.
And then Maestro Hall, my son had you last year, Alec.
That's right. Yep.
Yep.
It's good to see you.
See, it's like
Family
I already
reunion.
feel comfortable. I feel like I know.
Christine, I was at Napa Valley College today for their
Oh, this
breakfast,
morning.
and I learned
Yes.
so much about the learning communities. It was very exciting.
Yes.
Excellent speakers. It was just so much fun and all about dual enrollment, and really great job down there.
Yeah,
The
thank
new
you so
website
much.
is fantastic. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
so exciting. if you've ever had to experience our outgoing website, you would.
I've been working on
Right.
getting that thing updated for 6 years now. I mean, I've been pushing for it. I haven't actually been doing
Wow.
anything but push.
And it's been it's been really helpful to work with the team who's working on our website to kind of give feedback about kind of what our students look for when they visit the sites, because at the end of the day it's all about them, right? Our work needs to be like student centric, and yeah, if they can't figure out from 5 clicks where they need to be, that's not an effective way of sending the message.
Yeah, my
Okay, thank you. Nice to see Joe and Jessica and Christine. We'll go ahead and get started. Does everybody have the agenda, or Dave, will you put the agenda in the chat, or Hannah?
got it.
That would be wonderful. And I'm Nancy Nord-Carnegie, a retired teacher from Napa Valley Language Academy. This is the 3rd year of the Equity and Inclusivity Council at NVLA. And yeah, we're all about supporting students and families. I'm joined by my co-leaders, Dave Allred and Hannah Henry. Thank you so much for all of the planning. And my pronouns are she, her, and Aya. And in the chat, you are going to write your name, well, your pronouns, and one phrase describing what you would like to see change in schools or society. So big picture, what kind of changes would you like to see, just as an icebreaker to check in to see where we're at right now.
Okay.
Just
I
one
just
thing.
came back. I just came back from yesterday from a conference in Kansas City. Is the National League of Cities Race, Equity, and Leadership Institute, and so my brain is just I don't even know where to start. It's like oh.
Well, just choose one word then, keep it simple, and then
One word. I think we're all writing many words.
yeah, no, you can write
Yeah.
many words, but I was helping Jennifer. Her mind is really
I'm
big right now, just to focus. So we have Jessica said, I'd love to see whole district embrace honoring student staff pronouns and identity. Dave, I'd like to see sex ed in 5th grade to include non-heterosexuality, that we can be more inclusive. Hannah, I wish to see every student and teacher in Napa to know what tribal lands their school resides on. Hannah's been doing great work in that area. And Jennifer, transparency in budgeting and policy reform. Make it possible to follow and trace funding as it advances race equity. Okay, yeah, so there's a budget line and what is happening.
And
Chris-
not just a budget line, but an element in every request. We're actually talking about, like, when you see budget or anything that goes to a board, council, whatever, when there's like it shows fiscal impact, to have race equity impact be a piece of that as well.
I love it. And Christine, equitable access and seeing education and enrollments, not just as enrollment tools, but as an equity tool. And that kind of piggybacks on what Jennifer just said.
Mhm.
And then I would like to see all students learn to value themselves and others. So including, Native Americans, LGBTQ, BIPOC, and learn all of the definitions, what those are, so they can see where they are at and where others are at. And Dave, I'd love for the rainbow kits to be mandatory in all grades. Joe says, I'd like to see schools across all grade levels dedicate time to collaborating on how to integrate the promotion of social justice, inclusion awareness when grade level same subject teams collaborate together. Yeah, so a lot of learning and growing. So thank you everyone for that check-in. I'd like to do a land acknowledgement. We would like to begin today by acknowledging that we are gathered on the ancestral and unceded land of the Patwin, Onosatis, Miwok, and Pomo peoples, past and present. May we honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout the generations. And may we now take a moment of silence to honor oppressed groups in our history: Black, Native Americans, AAPI, Asian American Pacific Islanders, women, LGBTQ+, disabled, etc. Just take this time to take a deep breath and be in silence. Okay, and I will pass it to Dave.
All right, just real quickly, the norms that we always follow are to be respectful, which we never have a problem with this group of people, to lean into learning. Something's new for everybody. It's okay to be raggedy. Don't worry if your thoughts are perfect. Just say what you're feeling. Speak from a position of I and not we or they. Ask yourself, why am I talking or why am I not talking? I'd love it if somebody would help me as I kind of manage all this to take notes. And also, if you could write, you should have access to this, but you see that top where it says present under date. Just follow my lead and write your name so that we know who's here.
And if anyone wants help with that, just let me know and I can write your name.
Do we have a volunteer for taking notes? And do you understand that he's actually expecting that you write, you're expecting that someone write in the notes?
Yeah, the
in
yellow
the top, right?
column. We've had people take notes in the yellow column. That really helps. Because sometimes I'm explaining something in the agenda and I can't be typing at the same time. Anybody want to volunteer for that?
I seem to be having trouble typing my name in, so I would like someone to put mine in, please.
Okay, I got it, Cindy.
Okay.
I could take notes.
Joe?
And I need my name in there as well. I have on a very cramped little laptop in a borrowed office.
Gotcha.
Okay, I got you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Joe, for taking notes.
Nancy, can you add me? It's Jessica. I'm driving, so I won't be able to type in.
Of course I can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
Okay, thank you all for being here. I would like to, I always like thank yous. We're in the season of gratitude, but I think the whole year should be the season of gratitude. I'd like to thank NVUSD, the Napa Valley Unified School District, for working on an ethnic studies curriculum, continuing the diversity, equity, and inclusivity work with Dr. Rios and Dave Allender, and offering paid training to kindergarten through 5th grade teachers about rainbow kits. Thank you for putting the money with the training and honoring teachers. I really appreciate that. Thank you to Dave Allred and Martha Coolidge for brainstorming ideas for equity kits for middle school students with Hannah and me. And thank you to teachers who are committed to offsetting the learning loss as a result of the COVID years, especially the more profound learning loss of students already suffering from societal inequities. I know that teaching in COVID for me was a challenge, but these years after also are challenges because there was learning loss. So thank you for all the extra work you teachers put into what you do every day. And I would like to welcome all attendees and give an invitation for anyone new to the group or who has never had a chance to introduce themselves to give a brief introduction, name, pronouns, affiliations, interest in equity. So you did a little bit of that, Christine. Would you like to say anything else?
No, just like happy to be in this space. Yeah, I just, my pronouns are she, her, and siya. I am of Filipino descent. That's why, I'm also, Cindy mentioned learning communities. So I also at the college help coordinate the mentors for our Puente program. I don't know if some of you may have heard of that. It's a statewide, actually no, national now program because we've branched out into other states. And also I'm on the advisory for our Kasaysayan Filipinx learning community. So we also have a third learning community in Umoja, which speaks to the African American Black experience in their classes, and soon helping form a fourth learning community for LGBTQ students at the college as well, with the program coordinator Greg Moralia, who's very passionate about this work, who is our safe space champion, and is also a big dual enrollment advocate and advisor, and is always happy to speak with anyone who wants to learn about our LGBTQ studies program, and also our club, because we do have a student club for that as well.
Wow, Christine, you're doing a lot. Will you recap the learning communities? I heard the
Yes.
LGBTQ,
So we have four. We have four.
American.
Yeah, so we have our oldest one is Puente, the Puente program, which deals with Chicanx Latinx experience. And then second to that is Umoja for our Black African American experience.
How do you spell that?
UMOJA. So I'll write it on Umoja. Yeah. And then the newest one, which has been which was formed last year out of our ethnic studies department, is Kasaysayan. I'll put that word because it's a little tricky. This is the Kasaysayan Filipinx learning community. So we have a lot of Filipinx students, especially in our health occupations program. So, and ethnic studies is a big thing for us too. We've recently reformatted our humanities program into ethnic studies and social justice studies. And then the fourth one that is in the works is we don't have an official name for it yet, but it's going to be our LGBTQ learning community. Because now we have a transfer degree in LGBTQ studies. We have certificates too. We have a safe space program for students, and also a separate safe space curriculum for educators. which is a non-credit course. So
Thank you so much. Wow. That is amazing work that you are doing.
I mean, it's very important work, and we're very lucky that we now have a dedicated DEI office and a director who leads us in this work. And our new leadership, for those of you who are not aware, we have a new superintendent president, Dr. Torrance Powell, who is a big champion of this work as well.
Oh, you are definitely setting the lead, so thank you. Now we have, we're right on time, updates. Hannah Henry talking about Teach Truth and committee opportunities on projects that she and the Teach Truth group are working on.
Hi, everybody. So I have been working with Nancy and Dave for the past few, well, just for this school year, combining the efforts of an organization I started in 2019 called Teach Truth, and the DEI Council that was formerly NVLA, but has obviously expanded to other learning institutions across the Valley. So what we have settled on is a way to group meet in these DEI council meetings really as a way to share information from our different organizations about what we're doing. I'd love to get in depth. We would love to have more. I'm supposed to be speaking for myself. We have talked about this though. I think it's a little different. Getting more in depth, for instance, on what you were just sharing, Christine, from the college, so we can all learn from each other and understand how we're moving forward, where we might be stuck. But then Teach Truth was already working on educating the teacher and parent community on topics around DEI and ethnic studies, but also have now formed into two distinct projects that we're pursuing. And I would love to open it up to anybody in the community who's interested in taking this work from discussion. Some of you are already doing the work in your institutions, but from discussion and learning to action. And so the two, and so if you have an interest, please share it in the chat or email Nancy after this meeting. The projects are one, the 100 Plaques Project, which is not to take up too much time to get into the details of it, but it is a visual land acknowledgement plaque project that we are launching. We hope on the Napa River this year with the first plaque of the Patwin tribe, and then also working with the descendants of the Wapo Onosatis tribe for a Wapo land acknowledgement plaque that would go north of Trancas, possibly in Yountville, and also a Coast Miwok. So in the future, those would develop into more informational displays around the valley so that it becomes common knowledge. And then there's opportunity to learn more about these people and the ancestors of this land. That's the 100 Plaques Project. It's more like a public information education project. The other is a project that ladders on from the rainbow kits to something like equity inclusivity kits for middle schoolers that we are working on. I'm a designer, so I'm helping with the design elements of these projects, but need some resources for outreach to the community, for testing, for feedback. But these, we don't have a name for them quite yet, but similar to the rainbow kits, but including a real focus on ethnic and racial identity, and a more condensed version that could be deployed across all of the teachers across subject matter, subject area in the middle school, and then eventually into high school as well, but we're focusing on 6th through 8th grade. So there's the plaque project, and then there's the equity inclusivity kits for middle schoolers. if you know, this is a kind of a relatively small audience today, but if you know anybody who's really interested in this work and wants an opportunity to take action, these are underway, and would absolutely love to have some more hands and minds. So thank you, and just email Nancy or put in the chat. And then we have to, this is a note for Dave and Nancy, we have to remember to download the chat at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. So if one of you can help me, or
Okay, I'll look it up right now.
okay. Okay, thank you, Hannah. And next, Monica Reddy was going to give us an update on ethnic studies, but maybe she ran into a glitch and couldn't make it today. But last night at the Teach Truth meeting with Hannah, Jennifer Lamont, English teacher at Vintage High School, who is also on the Ethnic Studies Committee, she gave us an update. Do you remember?
I was
Hannah?
also at the, I mean, Cindy might have some info too, but I was also at the Parent Advisory Committee meeting where Monica just gave that presentation. I can kind of give a summary. Yay, Jenny, also a ballet mom. Yeah, I used to be a ballet mom too, but mine quit. Cindy, do you feel like you can give an update on, or you want me to give a summary? You go ahead. I think I read your lips. Okay.
Go ahead, because this is, we have Dale Allender, who wrote the textbook that's used at UC.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
okay, did any of you any of you taken any workshops with him? Okay, because he is working with teachers, and we do have a committee, and I didn't see any parents on it, so I was suggested that we put a couple of parents on the committee too.
I've been begging for that for a long time, so.
Okay, well, good. So we can make that happen.
It's also hard. So like, yeah, I'll give you a summary kind of what a summary of the formal presentation, and then a summary of the kind of the informal info I've had from others. That the ethnic studies is a requirement in the state of California. We're getting ahead of the game by I think a year, and making it a required course, piloting it next year in the 9th grade. There was an opportunity to do it as an integrated unit, a unit that could be integrated across subject areas, but they chose to, after getting feedback from students and teachers, they chose the two, not necessarily that they incorporated that feedback, but they did listen to it, and then chose to do a standalone ethnic studies course that will be a semester, that would also be part of the health requirement. So one semester would be the health requirement, and one semester would be ethnic studies requirement for 9th graders. It changes the elective, the number of electives that students need to graduate, and it's going to be a little bit tricky messaging it to parents and students and teachers, frankly. But they're working through that right now. But the workshop that's happening sounds amazing with Dale Allender. I think we have a mistyping in our,
it's Dale Allender.
It's Dale, not Dave. He's one of the authors, I think, of the Rethinking Ethnic Studies book, which I want to get a copy of.
Costs $125.
Oh, never mind. We'll see if the library has a copy.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. But that and I think it was Jennifer Baker who basically put the 4 components down, that what they're focusing on, the units, in the way the units would flow in that ethnic studies requirement would go from who am I, where did I come from, how did we get here, and where are we going? And that each one of those sections of the unit really delves into aspects of identity. This isn't about, and it's really comes from a sense of identity to find our place in the world, and then ultimately be a unifying a unifying aspect of education. And it kind of it sounds wonderful, and really hope we get a great, great teachers in there. What I've heard is it's a big lift to just do this workshop, and this is where we have been pushing for so long to be participating. I'm a parent, designer, activist, but I'm not a teacher. I did used to be an instructor at Napa College, but I'm not a K-12 teacher. And I have more emotional energy. So does Nancy as a retired teacher. We would love to participate in this kind of thing because the teachers are so overworked, to take a 3.5-hour workshop every other week, have this big stock of books, that's what I love to do in my free time. So thank you. I think we can also, do that kind of work and then debrief. But that's where the ethnic studies work is really, really exciting, and it's amazing that it's happening. There's also the approved book list that Kelly Miller and Monica Reddy have been really doing an amazing job pushing through all of the schools, ensuring that we have available books that are representative and inclusive and not banned. That's that summary.
That's very good.
Not exactly formal.
That's very good. No, and I'm just looking at what Jennifer wrote, change our K-12 history curriculum. K-12, well, you know what? I think that the 9th grade course is something that I'm a retired high school teacher, can easily be threaded throughout, obviously, the history course and the history courses that the kids take, government. There's a relationship to economics. And as an English teacher, there are so many books. I mean, we had a wonderful social justice and literature course at Napa High that ended when the teacher moved on to Davis. And this is what sometimes happens. You've got something great going on, and then a charismatic person moves on, and boom, it stops. I have no idea why. And but I think it's a great opportunity to broaden the curriculum and have students read. Oh gosh, well, Jennifer knows all the books. I mean, I taught Love Medicine. I taught Invisible Man. I mean, it's just so incredible. They're so rich, and the students enjoyed it tremendously. So yeah, I'm
to that
excited
point,
about
Cindy, just what you said, Jenny Lamont mentioned how, she wishes there wasn't a way to integrate it across subject matter, but also we're thinking, Nancy and Dave and I, how do we, like you said, make this part of the ecosystem of learning from
Right.
K all the way through 12, so that also that 9th grade teacher isn't stranded and has the support. People understand what this is about, that this isn't
Right.
some it seems so exotic and different for those who aren't part of this work. And that would be a way the kids will understand what they're working on, that, oh, when I get to high school, then I take a whole class about this, but I know what it means to ask, who am I? Where am I from? Where did we come from? Where are we going? I think that that's also what we're thinking about with the kids, working off the model of the Rainbow Kits, but really using the same language that is being used by Dr. Rios, by Dale Allender, and by other sources of ethnic studies and mental health identity, incorporating that into the language that all the teachers understand.
Right.
Okay, Jennifer had a hand up.
Yeah, I was wanting, I don't know if any of you would be familiar with this, but couple years ago, the school board approved the use of a program called Project Lit, which is supplemental reading for teachers to be able to bring new books into the classroom. There's a whole process for getting books approved. And these are all books that are for basically middle school, high school, that are have really good representation of different cultures and backgrounds in their characters and stories. And I just found out about 2 weeks ago that it turned out that that wasn't actually approved for use in the classroom. It was only approved for use in after school programs, which is really disappointing. And so I don't know if if this group can have any influence on getting that widely approved so that that those books are available for classroom use, because I think the entire intent I originally was to do that, and for some reason it didn't happen.
I think,
Well, it's embarrassing.
Cindy, I think, can you speak to that? Because I think that that is what, I can confirm, Jennifer, because Jenny was saying that that's what Monica Reddy and Kelly Miller were working on, is bringing Project Lit into the classroom. So I think that I think that is happening. But
Good,
she
'cause, yeah,
seems
because
really,
we
she's,
did
you know, as an
so
English
much
teacher at
work on getting
Vintage.
that approved and getting it ready, and then all of a sudden found out that that wasn't exactly what happened, and there was I mean, basically I want to do it so we can protect our teachers and give them the ability
Absolutely.
to bring books into the classroom that need to be explored without having to worry about, you know, getting called on the carpet.
Could you
Which
forward the
actually did
communication you have
happen.
about that so we can follow up?
Yeah, I can
That'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, I can too. Yes, it's a book club. It is a book club, and I would like it to see it expanded in the classroom. And in fact, one teacher used it in the classroom, and there was some, you know, very frank language in it, which I don't want to go into incredible detail, but a parent went nuts, and they managed to sort it out. But yes, it turned out it was for a book club. I myself, when I voted on it, thought that it was to go into all the classrooms. And it actually passed on a 6-1 vote. So I'll sort that out. I'll talk to Monica about it. Yeah.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We have 1-minute updates. Does anyone have a 1-minute update about what amazing things they're doing?
Christine still has her hand up.
Oh no,
Or-
I
well,
just
Okay.
no, thank you. I was just gonna ask, like, just because I'm not familiar. So I'm not sure if the K-12s use OER, the OER Commons. And they're open educational resources, and these are materials that actually can be used in the classroom. So I think that if that is the concern, that the Project Lit that was being discussed isn't necessarily for classroom use, I think there more and more, a lot of K-12 institutions in the nation are using the OER Commons, because there's quite a few good resources there. I can put the link on the chat. I don't know if this is something that's been discussed, but also Monica and I have a meeting after Thanksgiving, so I'm happy to bring this up. And when I first started in this position in February, one of my first meetings was with her, and just got off, you know, like very good vibes about her being a champion for ethnic studies, and she was very excited to hear about all of the work that we are doing at the college as well. So I think there's an opportunity for partnerships here, and then to see how we at the college can support the work at the K-12s, because we do see it as a pipeline. You know, the more informed our K-12s are, then when they come to us, they're so like their perception, you know, their perspectives are so much more robust when the information is given to them, and they're allowed to discuss these opportunities from a very young age. So that's kind of like what we're looking at, and it's very much in alignment with the work that we do as a community college, just because earlier this year, actually no, last year, ethnic studies also became a graduation requirement for the California Community College, and transfer for the California State University system. So you can see kind of like the connections now, right? There we're touching a lot of our educational systems in alignment for that. So yeah, just sharing that.
Thank you, Christine. Well, I see that we have our guest speaker I would like to present Omar. And Omar, I met Omar when my car broke down and the AAA driver knew of a auto mechanic that was open on a Saturday. And so I happily drove to Napa Tire and Wheels on the corner of 3rd and Soskull and met this most amazing man and mechanic. And he has such integrity and is so reliable and responsible and family values that we just hit it off. And he speaks 5 languages. And he has a son who graduated from American Canyon High School and is now at UC Davis. And he's here today to present a perspective of the Middle East and culture and his experience of his son through the Napa Unified School District schools and what we are doing well and what could be improved. And I when I think of Omar, a smile comes to my face because we just connect and I really appreciate him. And so I'd like to present Omar, and if you could let us know your last name. And then I've also met his brothers, Mohammed and Adnan, and they are equally as wonderful as Omar. So just a really exceptional family.
Thank you so much. My first name is Omar. Last name is Hatak. As they say here, Katak, but it's usually pronounced Hatak. I came to this country in 1992. When I came in, I was basically fresh off the boat. I didn't even speak the language, or neither I could say 1 or 2 in English. It was for the teachers. I admire all those teachers. They were the best teachers. They used to stay with me after school. I went through the ESL classes. I went through American High School in Fremont. I graduated in 96, and then from there I went to Chabot College, got into these automotive repairs and stuff. That's where my mainly hobby I want to be. So it was mostly really appreciative. I had great teachers in the society. I had the opportunity to be where I am today because of those teachers. I came from a place where usually we had a school and you go there and it's up to the teachers whether they want to teach you or not. And we used to take a lot of beatings because we couldn't do our homework. Neither we had the facility of internet or computer or TV. Up to this DNA age, we didn't want to have the roads over there yet in the place where I came from. So I came here, it was totally different world what I come out of. So, and it was literally great family I had here who literally walked me through the whole process. It was not for them, especially my uncle, my aunt, who basically was not only us, he brought other sister sons, brother sons, their daughters to get them educated. My uncle was one of the first person who came out of the country on scholarship to Japan, from Japan to the US, and he got his PhD in chemistry, and he used to work for Lockheed, and he retired from there, and then he went to education himself. He wanted to help other students. So it was a great talent my uncle had for the whole family, for us, and if it was not for him, we would not be here today. And I really admire the teacher. Like I said, if it was not for the teachers, I would be basically nowhere right now.
Fantastic. Omar, my name's Dave. I'm a 5th grade teacher at Napa Valley Language Academy. When your son went to school, what were his experiences? Did he have a good experience in school? I'm curious just because we'd like to move forward and help folks from all cultures. Is there anything they did well, or is there anything we could have done better?
Well, he was really good in schools. He had the talent from childhood. He wanted to become a doctor, and then so it was his teachers also helped him along the process. Taught him, gave him extra homework, and extra stuff that he could do to make himself enlarge, where he could basically work his way to what he wants to become accomplished, the process that he wants to go through. So it was he was really happy with his teachers and stuff. I mean, I don't know what else. I wish I had him here on the Zoom meeting. He would have explained it better, but he unfortunately couldn't make it because of his university. But I have another son. He goes to middle school in American Canyon, and so he's in the 8th grade right now there. And he's basically getting straight A's in, I guess, the school system in the Napa Unified. I mean, it's really great schools, and it's really good teachers in the program that they have. In beginning, my oldest one had an issue because when we came out of Fremont, they don't have we had books, or they had books for the kids over there, and here they have to have a laptop to have everything on the computer. Initially he had an issue with that, but as he kind of caught up with the system, and he really liked it that everything was on the computer, he doesn't have to carry books and stuff like that.
So did he ever experience any prejudice because of the color of his skin or from where he was from based on his ethnicity?
Not really. I mean, he was one of those kids that he would always hang around with every school, every teacher, they have smart kids, and they have kids that they know it, they will never make it past high school. So he used to hang around with those kids that always kind of guide him through the process, and they helped each other. So he never experienced anything, neither he told me that he was having issue because of this or that. So he was pretty open about it.
Yeah, that is wonderful. And I think the ethnic diversity in American Canyon is definitely better than in Napa. And so did he have other students that were from the Middle East as well?
Right now there are students coming in, and but before that, not that many from Middle East. I mean, he did have a couple of buddies, but as I see right now, as I drop my middle school son, I see more diversity of different ethnic coming into the school. So it's pretty much they have every kind of student almost from every country right now.
And from what country do you originate, Omar?
I come from Pakistan.
And what languages do you speak?
So it's funny. My mother basically, my father, my mom, and dad, they speak Pashto. So I inherited that Pashto. In Pashto, they have the same language in Afghanistan. They have different dialects. So unless you know the language from the bottom of your heart, the original language you would not understand if you go to Afghanistan, if you go to a different part of in Pakistan, northwest frontier. So they speak totally different dialects. I speak that fluently because that's where I was. That's where I grew up around. And then I learned Urdu because I used to write letters to my mom and dad. Back then, we didn't have internet, neither we had cell phones. So we used to write literally letters to each other, or have cassette recorded, and either somebody's going, we were used to give it to them, either somebody's coming from that, and they would basically record a cassette and send it from the whole family side. So then I started realizing I need to learn Urdu, because that was the language that my dad used to understand to reading and writing. That was the only way I could do that. So I asked him to send me a dictionary from there, which was from Urdu to English. So I started picking up language from that, writing and reading. And I picked up that language also. So I know how to read and write Urdu fluently. And I speak Hindi. And also, I do read Arabic. I do understand Farsi 100%. So I speak quite a few languages.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Nancy, can I interrupt for just a moment?
Yes.
Is your son Sahil?
Yes, that's my son, Sahil Aftab.
He was my student And I
Yeah,
really enjoyed, I never got to meet you, but I really enjoyed working with your wife and Sahil and your daughter, who's not a baby anymore, I'm going to
yeah,
assume.
yeah. My oldest one is Darian Arsalan Khatak, and then Sahil Aftab, and then my little one, Lila.
Yes. You have a lovely family.
Thank you.
It's a small world. I love it. And
Omar, my name is Hannah, and I'm so honored to have your participation in this meeting today. I hope this is just an introduction and that we can we know you as part of the community. I have to say that since moving to the Napa Valley, you are the first person from Pakistan I have met. I grew up in the East Coast, and there were quite a few I knew in school. But I wonder what it is, if you can try to answer this, what it's like to carry the the story of Pakistan and India. It's so, and the colonialism and the post World War II history is so recent, and I think it's one of those that isn't really well understood in America, for sure. And I'm wondering how you manage having so many languages. I mean, that in itself has its own wisdom. How you have so many languages and then also carry this this really powerful and painful history in a land where we're just like going to Walmart and like just and really oblivious to that history. Is that any kind of a burden, or do you just keep the past and history in the past?
Basically, actually, I would say that's what keeps me going. I used to tell I tell both of my kids, I say, if you work hard 10 years in your life, which is study, you will accomplish something, you can enjoy the fruit for the rest of your life. If you want to waste your time, the 10 years of your crucial time, you will be working for odd jobs, which will always worried about paying your bills, paying your this, paying that. I mean, I tell both of my kids, I said, even if I work here 7 days, and I usually come in the morning and I leave. Sometimes there are nights that I leave from here 10 o'clock at night. But I want them to have a better life than what I'm already having. I'm happy with content with my life, what I'm going through, because if I'm working, I'm keeping them going through school and all the system. And thanks to my wife, she's a great partner to have. And as far as the society, of what I think about back home, that's what keeps me going. Because if I seen the life out there where people don't even have lunch or dinner or breakfast, if they have one meal, they think about the other one, how they're going to get that. I mean, forget about medical, forget about anything else. We have a place I came to here, came to this country. Basically, we have everything if you work for it. There's nothing free. I mean, that's basically out there. People want to work, but they don't have the opportunity to get anything accomplished because of the corruption, poverty, education. I mean, everything is a mess.
Mm-hmm. You also mentioned the importance of family, of landing in a place where you had some tether.
Yeah, so we had basically came if it was not from my uncle or my aunt, because they were so educated, they brought their kids, and all of them are doctors. They're married to a doctor, they're doctors. And then so we in our family almost, I mean, they're highly educated. Believe it or not, I mean, everybody in my family, I would think of it, I went through high school and college, but the rest, they graduate from universities and top universities. Either they're doctors or engineers. But I'm happy. I was more a businessman. I want to work for myself. I don't want to work for anybody else. So I took this field ever since. I never worked for anybody. I mean, I work maybe here and there, but that's about it. But mainly I own my own business, and I'm just doing my own things, my own timing. I don't want to be basically working for somebody telling me punch in, punch out.
do you go back to Pakistan, or do you have family who goes back and visits?
Yeah, I do travel. No matter of fact, I was there not too long ago. One of my brother-in-law had passed away, so he left durable kids. The youngest one is 11, so I'm also supporting my sister, putting her kids towards education. So if I help them get them educated, I don't have to feed them for the rest of my life. They can work for themselves and make something out of themselves. If unfortunately they lost their dad who passed away, he had a heart attack and he just went away, left these kids. We don't They don't have the facility like we have here where you put them through Section 8 or food stamp. So basically you have to help the family right now. You're either if your sister or is your brother or whoever it is, if they need a help, uh, we are always with them, and we don't ask them, oh, I have sent you $5,000, what did you do with that money? So we basically, there's no paying it back. Also in our culture, if somebody needs help, you pay them. Don't ask how you're going to pay me the money.
And is there a religion you practice, Omar?
Yes, I'm Muslim, and Islam teaches us these things also. Islam is basically is a religion of peace. It teaches you, as I was talking to you, like my mom used to tell me same thing, and in Islam it's the same thing. If there's somebody walking carrying a baby and a bag on top of her, in one hand she's carrying the baby, the other hand she's carrying a bag, we were told, make ask the person nicely, can I carry the bag with you since I'm walking the same direction with you? So even we don't have to know the person. It's not like we know the person. And they would say happily, I'm so glad you came, and if you don't mind, yeah, can you carry the bag with me? We used to carry the bags with the person we didn't even know. That's how we grew up, and that's how, and we respect everybody out there. I mean, basically, we grew up, you're never supposed to say by name to somebody. You always say uncle or aunt. That's how we grew up with respect. You have to respect the elders. When I came here, it was one thing shocking for me when like they would say by literally the name, and I would kind of like, oh, that's kind of really bad because this person is a lot older. You can't just say by the name. But here, I guess everything is different. So I started learning, or here you have to call somebody by the first name.
And you also were talking to me about how we kind of expect people to look us in the eye.
Yeah.
And how in Pakistan it's different.
Yeah, so it's so funny. I mean, you say that I was telling you, up to this DNA age, it doesn't mean I'm scared of my dad or I got abused, nothing like that. It's just the respect. Up to today, I'm like half of my life is coming up, and I still cannot look at my dad in the eyes. That's basically disrespectful. Over there, you cannot look at anybody in the eyes. If you're staring somebody through their eyes, that means you're basically want to start a fight or something. And they look at you like you got the guts to look at me in my eyes. Like, they look down on you. So depending on the age, you have to, the best way is you look down as they say whatever they want to tell you, you listen to them and you say yes or no. That's how we were brought up, and they still do those things these days.
And so were you able to adapt when you came here, or how did teachers treat you if you didn't look them in the eye, or did they understand? Did they have cultural sensitivity training?
Yeah, that was the greatest thing. I came through, basically, we had a lot of Afghanis because of the Afghan war. A lot of refugees came over to this country, and believe it or not, most of them landed in Fremont. So we had a lot of those kind of kids from Afghanistan. So when we were going through the ESL classes and stuff, so I guess the teacher, they had the knowledge how we were brought up. Although I did not come through the refugee status, I came through immigration status. My uncle sponsored my mom, and I came with her because I was still minor. So it was kind of in beginning, like I said, it was really hard for me to adjust because not only left everybody back home, and I came and my mom went back after 3 months, and then I was basically growing around my uncle and my aunt. The first time I went to back home, it was after 4.5 years. And in beginning, it was hard for me. I must say that I didn't even know the language. And I could see the teachers are trying to go out of their way to help me after school. They were, like, okay, you can come by after school for an hour. They were trying to learn, trying to explain how I could understand in a better way. Not only that, some of those teachers I remember used to give me a ride home, drop me off at the house. So like I said, I mean, the system we had here for the students, especially for those immigrant students who didn't speak the language, if it was not for the teachers, I would not be here today where I am right now.
Thank you so much, Omar. Anyone have any last questions for Omar?
I think a follow-up would be wonderful. I think we have to close, but I am so grateful to hear your story, Omar, and congratulations on some incredible kids and family. It's very it's so good to hear a positive story. Nancy and Dave invite people to share stories, and they're not always so positive, because we're really trying to understand how we want to learn from the community and hardships and challenges. But it's been wonderful to hear this success, and it sounds like it really originates from love and loyalty, a sense of loyalty, and it's just really beautiful. I feel like a little bit lighter now after that. But I'd love to hear from your son, if you have a conversation with your family and kind of talk about what we discussed. We would love to hear any other viewpoints, because we're really open to how to improve it. There's a lot of Afghan refugees right now, and there are many in Sacramento. My church is sponsoring 2 brothers in Sacramento, teaching them mechanic skills, actually. And I know that there's something to be learned from every story, for new people who are coming, who may have a learning disability, may not have the same kind of welcome mat because of their incredible intellectual abilities, and maybe they don't have the amazing support like you. So thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Okay, so couple things in closing. If anybody has any great ideas for speakers for the next meeting, some people you can think of who would have good perspectives relevant to what we're discussing, go ahead and pop those in there. We've had lots of young folks. Project Lit was one of them. We discussed them earlier, and yeah, type them on in. Then let's see, Nance, is the next meeting January 12th?
Yes, the next meeting is January 12th, another Thursday from 3:45 to 4:45, and would love to see you all back again as we continue this work in equity. Anyone have any closing words or ideas?
Omar, what's the name of your shop? I want to come visit you.
It's a Napa Tires and Wheel. Basically, it's on Silverado, 713 Silverado Trail, cross street is 3rd Street.
Silverado at 3rd. Okay, my car needs some work.
Oh, I can attest, like, Omar's shop is like top notch. I think your brother Mohammed has worked with my husband. He's a locksmith, and yeah, just the go-to. So thanks. I think you helped me out when like two tires out of my Jeep just decided that they were gonna like not work,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. And Joe, thank you for taking assiduous notes. I've been looking at your knuckles for the last 45 minutes. They haven't stopped moving, man.
He's writing that. He's transcribing my knuckles.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with this. My camera.
It's there's a teacher appreciation celebration at the DeRosa right now for all the art teachers. I'm gonna go jump over to that right now. So thank a teacher today and tomorrow, this whole week, every day, really, like Nancy says, every day is gratitude day, but we're supposed to be hugging our teachers this week.
We need it.
So thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, so Nancy, do we have to record the chat or download the chat?
Oh, is there anything in there that
I can save it. Okay, I got it.
Hey Dave, I was, Nancy, I know you're always gonna be tied to NVLA, but Dave, did you ever do the Rainbow Kit training with Ann Setkowski or
took Callie Hemstreet?
yeah.
I didn't do the training because I helped her make the kits. So I know exactly how to do it because we sat together and made the kits together.
Wow, okay, that's awesome. It was a pretty amazing. I did it yesterday. It was 2 hours.
Did you?
It was pretty awesome. Like it was not just about the rainbow kits. It was just a lot of great information. I definitely want to get access to her PowerPoint slides and make that available to our meetings, under our resources. But one of the things that kind of was like one way you can kind of create more inclusivity in our schools is come up with a rainbow club. So
I did that last year in 6th grade. I had a student equity committee, and it was really cool. They came to a couple of our meetings, representatives of those guys, and they spoke at a couple of them. And yeah, it was. I mean, they're kind of doing it a little bit at Unidos. Ale came and spoke to our 5th grade because they're incoming, right? And she said they have all these groups, and some of them were sort of in that theme. But I'd like to find more. Actually, you know what? That would be a speaker idea, Nancy. Alejandra and Unidos Middle School. The way they have it structured is anybody can join with, I think, 3 or 4 other kids and form any group that they want, as long as the group benefits the student population. So they like a Harry Styles group who's notoriously bisexual. And they have posters, inspiring posters that they made all over the school by him about, you are loved no matter who you are and all that stuff. And I'm wondering if we could connect with some of those folks.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Ale. Yeah, Joe, do you think I should attend one of those trainings, even though I already am fluent in those kits?
I think it's still very informative and just I don't know. I mean, but I think it would be beneficial. And I'll have to I'll collaborate with you on, because I'd like to start a rainbow club. Did you do it during school or after school?
Yeah, remember where we had Corazones Unidos? It was a 6th grade group where the kids did some public service, and I was in charge of that. All the different groups, 90 kids, and I had to put them all in different groups, and some of them were, avid scouts. And so I created a group that was the student equity committee, and their job was to look for unfairness anywhere that they saw it, and then bring it to me, and we'd figure out a way to fix it, call it into attention, call it out, take it up the flagpole until we resolved it. And some of it was in my class, which was great. I had a reina de la gramática, and I had to change it to estrellas de la gramática, because reina and reina is binary, and the non-binary kids didn't feel like they had a place. And I was like, let's go, let's start right there. So yeah, I just created it.
But you had a time during school to do it because Corazon Unidos had a specific class time. So that's the difficulty, right, Joe? You don't have that service type club or class that Dave had in 6th grade.
We did not have a specific time. I called meetings for all of the groups on my lunch hour. And so we would have some didn't require meetings, like the Avid Scouts, their job was just to help Alejandra with Avid checks a couple times a year. I don't need to meet with them about that, but some of the ones where it required more creativity, I met with them during my lunch hour.
Mm.
But I'd be happy to share with you what we did and how I framed it. You know, we keep talking about all these changes we want to do, and why I think that the younger you get, the more energy needs to be spent in parent messaging. Because like even with the rainbow kits, man, if you expect us to roll out the rainbow kits to kids who are 7, 8 years old, you better have that parent messaging together, because they're going to come back at us. You're teaching my kids about gay sex, you know? So I think that focus, whereas in middle school and high school, I think parents are a little bit more open to kids, but you really has to be clear, what is the intention here? And it's just fairness. It's not about sexuality. It's about fairness. We're not just talking about LGBTQ+, we're talking about Black people and BIPOC and everybody. Just be fair to everybody. And most parents are down with that.
Right. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dave and Nancy.
Hey, thanks for
doing all
coming.
the
Oh,
work.
yeah, thank you. It's like the more the merrier. I try to get as many people to come. I was excited because I put out there, if you wanted to be taken off the list, please tell me. And no one wanted to be taken off the list, but still out of a group of 83 that I sent it out to, you know, we have a group of 8 or whatever, but
Yeah.
still little by little.
I think what that says is like, yeah, we don't want to be taken off because that's like saying we're not with you, but we're not going to actually be with you because we're really busy. And remember too, Nancy, that this is the darkest, most challenging time of the whole year. We're about to go on a break that we're all about to collapse into, right, Jeff? So it's incredibly difficult at this time of year. I think it'll be better later on.
Sounds good. So thank you so much.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Good to see you.